So here's the play-by-play. Thought I'd tell you about the Big Dam Bridge. This is the 50 miler. So here's the start. It starts in downtown Little Rock. It's just across the river from the hotels and things, so it's pretty nearby. But I wanted to point out some of my favorite parts about this ride. So I will point them out as we move along. This is a really interesting part of Little Rock. It's got some really nice homes and it's right along the waterfront. You can't see it from this vantage point. The water's on the left. You can actually see some of the homes there. But the water's on the left, and there are some other homes that have more of a waterfront view, but it's just a really neat area of the ride. I always enjoy climbing through here. Once you get to the neighborhood, you enter into this park. A lot of the initial ride is through this really nice park. So you're not dealing with cars primarily. You're going down these really cool, nice bike paths. They're nice and smooth. There's the river off to the left. Of course, the sun's just starting to come up now. And you will see a lot of fog and things here in just a minute. But really a very cool area. You can also see there's an awful lot of bikes up there. It's a little congested during this part of the ride. This part through here is a little bit dangerous. Got some drop-offs on the left, rocks on the right. It's kind of a downhill, so people tend to pick up a lot of speed. You're about to see a very cool boat out here in the water doing some fishing, like a yacht. Really is what it looks like. I think you'll see him out here. Yeah, you can get a little peek of him over there. This is one of my favorite spots through here. Still in the park, working through these great tree-lined paths, nice and smooth. Gives you the perception of speed, right? Because you're going through all these trails and you can see all the bikes up there. I think this is the largest bike event in Arkansas, for whatever that's worth. Right through here we start breaking into the streets. We come off of the trails, but the streets are still nice and quiet through here. It's kind of controlled access. It's still considered in the park area. This little area is not my favorite. You get a lot of bottlenecking, and as you'll see here in just a second, there's a very small gate that all of us are trying to squeeze through back onto a different trail. See to the right, all those riders, and you'll notice in just a second the gate. It's a very small little area. Do like this part. See the fog? We're just off the water. It was nice and cool, and you're about to enter some more tree-lined areas. Nice sweeping turns. Nice place to ride. Now we're approaching the proverbial Big Dam Bridge. You can see to the left that it is a dam. There's some gates and things there for water flow control. And we're actually riding over the top, which is, I think, the largest pedestrian bridge crossing. I don't know if it's in the world or if it's just the US. Don't know, but it's a great view. You can see the sun's coming up. That's the Arkansas River that we're passing over. And you'll pick up quite a bit of speed coming back down the other end. So we're picking up some speed here. Notice the data block on the right hand side is a little bit behind. I think it's about 20 seconds or so behind the bike's actual position. Now we're approaching a second smaller bridge. This is not a dam again, it's just a bridge that crosses part of the river. And I really enjoy the other side of this. It's a really tall piney forest you're gonna see, and it smells just like good old Atlanta when you get down in there. Now you can really see those tall pine trees, that morning sun coming through there. Smells just like Atlanta. It's not bad. No paper mill. I'm about to leave the trail here for the last time before we get out on the road. And this is also the first water stop on the ride. We're finally out of the park, back on the public roads. We'll continue northwestbound until we do our big circle and then come back into the park. See, we're about 12 miles out here, 12 and a half miles out. So a quarter of the way. There are quite a few little hills like this, little jump ups, even though we're not getting to Turkey Mountain, which is the big massive hill. So a lot of little chances to work on your climbing a little bit if you really want to. But then you get the benefit here of heading downhill. So this is where a cyclist almost gets hit by a car. Notice the guy in the teal shirt on the far left. Retro. Yeah, these roads are open. Can't really just take them over with reckless abandon. The road splits here, and the route splits. 50 milers to the right, 67 100 milers to the left. We're approaching the second water stop. We are 22 miles in. I don't stop. I rarely do unless I just don't feel good. I was feeling pretty good today, so I just kept on keeping on. This is that peloton I told you I joined up with. Rode with them for quite a while. We kind of took our turns, you know, rotating out. And I was watching their speed to see what their pace was, because I knew that it was going to be my turn eventually and that I would have to hold pace. And they were generally doing 18 to 20, somewhere in that ballpark. And so I knew that when I got up front, I would need to do 18 to 20. Looks like we're coming up to the rest stop again. This is about 30 miles in. Those riders going the other direction, those are 50-miler riders. And we've just well ahead of them, so we're already made the loop and going back opposite direction on the trail. So here it was my turn to take the lead. You'll see this guy kind of pull out and I'll come up front. And I tried to hold my speed, but I looked back after a while and there was nobody there. So in the next clip here, you're gonna see where there was a crash. Look on your left, a girl falls, boom, right there. She just fell. I think she was fine. She just got slow and forgot to unclip. You know, we're 39 miles out of a 50-mile ride. A little bit of car congestion here, but it's because the police had them held. I'm not quite sure why the police had them stopped. I don't know if it was for us. I don't know. There is a medic there, so maybe someone got hurt, possibly. I don't know. So now we're heading back onto the trails. This is at 42 miles. There's a water stop on the left-hand side. That's the first one that we passed on the way out. And this is a great way to finish last 10 miles because it kind of gives you a little burst of energy, something different. You're going through these forests, through the woods, over the bridges. It's kind of an interesting finish. We're approaching again the smaller bridge. It's a nice little jump up, kind of some nice scenery, and then we'll be heading to the big dam bridge for the finish. Here's the big dam bridge one more time. Get a nice look at the Arkansas River. By the way, this group of riders that I'm with now is the group I essentially finished with, which you will sadly not see because the camera ran out of battery about 2 miles or so from the finish line, if even that far. But we stayed in this group. This was a good hard pulling group all the way to the end, and it was a good way to finish up. 47.3 miles now. And because you won't hear it, again, because the video stopped, as we came into the finish, I heard the announcer comment that here comes a big group of finishers. So I think that that was indicative that we were the first big group to come in off the 50 milers, which is kind of cool. There's probably a few ahead of us that trickled in, but first big group. You can see here we're at 49.8 miles. It's according to the GPS on the bike. And the reality is the race was like 51 point something, 52 miles. And that's where the battery died. Sadly, you didn't get to see the big finish, which was kind of fun. And my finish time was 2 hours and 36 minutes and some change. I was really happy with it. It's going to be tricky to beat that PR next year. All right. Hope you enjoyed it. See ya.